So good morning and welcome from a very, very sunny Hertfordshire today. So sunny that I'm standing under a tree, a gorgeous tree. Let's hope that it all all goes okay and doesn't have me sneezing, coughing or anything else. So today I wanted to talk about visibility in the three C's. I wanted to stand in this location, so forgive the shaky camera. I am holding my phone. I think this is an important topic to talk about. So when it comes to visibility, there are three very important, or in fact, there are five very important components, but today I want to talk about three of them, and one of them might surprise you. So the three C's that I'm going to talk about today is confidence, credibility, and the third one, crying. And I better warn you that I might actually cry on this video because I'm doing something that I normally ask you not to do. So I always say that if something is highly upsetting, highly triggering, and you want to go out there and be visible, that it's often useful to share from the scar, not the wound. But today, I think it would be great for you to see this. Now, I feel a bit of a way about this. I feel quite vulnerable about sharing this because this is currently streaming on my LinkedIn channel. It's currently streaming on my YouTube channel, and it's also currently streaming on my Facebook page, which is what I've been doing and what I aim to do for these 365 days. And if I can't come to you live, then I'll come to you by video. So yeah, what I want to say is, like, nothing's broken, no one's been harmed, no one's died, and in the grand scheme of things, this really is a first world problem. So yeah, I'm just gonna well, let me start off by giving you some context. Why am I sharing this and why didn't I wait? Even one of my friends said, Jenny, you don't have to go live now. You can go live at 2 or at 10 tonight. And I thought, I definitely can't go live at 10 tonight, and at 2 o'clock I've got something in. So I'm just going to come to you live in this way. I really feel like I should have called this Blood, Sweat and Tears, this live stream, because back in 2010, I realised, quite by accident, but I realised that I was very, very good at helping myself to be visible, but helping other people to be visible. But I didn't really know how to articulate it well. I thought I was great at helping people with their presentations, with speaking, and getting rid of nerves behind it. But very quickly, when I started to work with people in this way, they went on to do the most extraordinary things. And actually, I loved that, because here's the thing. I am like a catalyst. When I come into your world, whether it's you as an individual or you as a team or you as a company, I'll drop whatever it takes to have to be the catalyst for your people or for you. But the thing that many people don't realize is that they already have the tools, they already have the skills, they already have the confidence to be the big, bright, great versions of themselves that they dream about and that they want to. Sometimes they just don't realize it. This is, to me, true visibility and why I get out of bed every morning. So what happened today, Jenny? Why are you so tearful? Why have you got a red nose? Well, I shed a tear or two, and I'm not going to lie. So I got up, started my day. I didn't meditate, which is a great way to just center yourself before anything's happened. And I saw something online. And to say that it irked me is an understatement. So the thing I saw runs very similar, very parallel to the work I do, some of the words used and things like that. And, having done this for 14 years, this is not the first time a client, friends, people that I know have sent me screenshots, links to things and said, Jenny, I think this work copies you, or this work is you. So let me clear this copying piece up as well. One of the things that I am getting better at is this notion of people copying work. Now, there's certain things that people say and do that I know is copied from me, because they are things that I have created, things that I've put together in a certain way. And a lot of the stuff that I share are normally my insights, which could make it risky and could make it dangerous for people to, rip it off and do what they want with it. But at times like that, most times I just think, okay, at least I know, I'll keep an eye out in case it goes on to infringement, and I'll work from there. Then there are people that have purposely come into my world. They've come into my classes, they've come into my freebies, they watch my content. And there's a difference between them taking an insight from what I've shared and them regurgitating exactly word for word. And here's what I'm going to say, which sounds a little bit like a contradiction of terms. The world is big enough to have more than one person doing the same thing as us, the same thing as you. And also, there are some people who thrive on being the person to create something, to trend set, to make something up, to invent something and to put it out there. All you have to do is look at brands like Dyson. Let me tell you a little story about Dyson, which warms my heart, because you see, like, Dyson now do hand dryers, hair dryers, vacuum cleaners, all sorts of different things like that. But many years ago, I was 20 years old, many years ago, unfortunately. When I was 20 years old, I worked in one of those electricity shops. You know, the ones back in the day where you might go to the back of the shop to pay your bills, but in the front of the shop sold washing machines, vacuum cleaners. And in this particular shop, round the side, those of you who know me will likely remember this, round the side was the TV videos, yes, dating myself, TV videos, video cameras and things like that, all that kind of tech stuff, which I always had loved. I really loved. And one day this guy came in and asked if he could speak to my manager. I asked him what about, and my manager was busy counting money and taking bill payments and things like that. And he said that he had something he wanted to demonstrate to her. Well, she was so kind of knee deep in pound, it wasn't pound notes, it wasn't that long ago, but pound coins and notes and bills and customers, that she asked if I could take a message. And when I went back to speak to this man, he said, is it okay if I demonstrate this cleaner for you? And I said, yeah, sure. He said, my hope is that I can get an address for either your manager or head office and put my device in the window. So he threw some rice on the floor, threw a bit of flour, if I remember, on the floor, and started to vacuum it up. But here's the thing. This vacuum cleaner didn't have a bag in it. Now, what you've got to think about is the vacuum cleaners that you know these days are very different to the vacuum cleaners back then. Back then, a vacuum cleaner was only a vacuum cleaner with a bag in it. He explained to me that it worked on the power of a whirlpool, the kind of a cyclone, that energy of a cyclone. And he also explained that in his invention and in his creation, he'd found that some vacuum cleaners actually set off people's allergies, dust allergies, if they were asthmatics and things, because the bag itself held the dust. And when the engine started, it blew it out into the room. And many people who had asthma, any kind of breathing difficulties or any kind of allergies would find themselves getting ill and not really understanding that their vacuum cleaner, the very thing they were trying to, suck up, was actually making them ill. So I remember being absolutely wow. This 20-year-old was like, wow, 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 this is amazing. Whereas some of my colleagues who were a little bit older than me, quite a lot older than me, were poo-pooing the idea, this cannot be a vacuum cleaner. It hasn't got a bag. It looks funny. It looks different to everything else on the market. And I don't think it will ever take off. Go back to where you came from and sort that out. Anyway, so I asked the man his name, and he wrote it down. His name was James Dyson. True story. I didn't think anything of this until many years later. I was watching a TV commercial and saw the new Dyson being advertised. And at that point, there was actually a picture or James saying something or coming onto the screen. And I thought, that's that man. That's that man who was like in the shop all those years ago. I love that moment. And I tell you what I love about it. It's nothing to do with the fact that I met James Dyson, although he was a really lovely guy. It was the fact that he must have walked around so many shops that day. He must have been traveling around the whole of the area, maybe the whole of the county. He must have heard comments less like mine and more like other people that said, you can't do this, that won't work, that looks funny. And then sometime along the line, once the concept was out there, look at how many other, vacuum cleaners there are now that look like a Dyson, that act like a Dyson. So, like, if I could speak to anybody in this moment now, I would ask him, like, what do you do when, all these people emulate you, copy you, try to copy your designs? I know someone else who created a really amazing product, who constantly is having to get solicitors and ask them to stop copying. But my point is, some people are really great at invention, creating reinvention, and making things that they see a gap in the market for. And as one of the companies I used to work for said, some lead, others follow. One of the true tests of times about being visible is that we have to learn to live with this kind of duplicity, if you like. We have to learn to live with the fact that, and own the fact, are you a person that creates and leads? Are you a person that follows? Are you a person that takes other people's models and copies? Now, I actually don't have any issue with that. If I want to share the work of somebody, I share the work and their name or their brand or their company. This is confident visibility. Having the confidence in yourself to know your stuff, to stay in your lane, and when you go outside your lane or outside your zone of genius, to know that it's okay to give a sound check to the person who shared that thing in the first place. On the flip side, if you know you're really great at assimilating, if you like, information and making it easy, and it's not your information, that doesn't make you any less than. So if that's you, like, give credit to the inspiration, the ideas. You'll actually find that it actually elevates you. It elevates what you do, and it builds the know, like, and trust factor. Because for every single client that sends me a screenshot, sends me a link and says, Jenny, is this your work? They now have distrust in that person, in that brand. And they also have a network of their own peers, their own clients, and they feel cautious. And sometimes in conversations, when I speak to people privately, they'll admit that the reason why they don't want to do something is because they've seen somebody else and they purport to do the same thing as somebody else, but actually the trust was broken. Hey, David, thank you so much for your comment there. Yeah, David says, what a story. Dyson is truly a disruptive inventor. He really is. And I'm just putting his comment on the screen so you can see it. I think David is looking in from LinkedIn, so go check him out. He's an amazing man. It's really important to grasp this concept. So when it comes to being visible, whether it's on a page, a stage, or a screen, it's really important to remember the 3 C's, and one of which I didn't gladly demonstrate today. One is confidence. Confidence in who you are, what you do, why you serve people, how you show up, like unapologetically, not rudely, unapologetically, not arrogantly, unapologetically, because you believe in what you do. Second thing is credibility. You need to know how to position yourself. There's no kind of like weird secrets or no surprises as to why, even though I'm standing under a tree, holding my camera, mouth, arm and phone, which is something that I teach others to do too, that I have still been booked to speak at some of the world's best known brands. I've still spoken on amazing stages that I still pinch myself with. I have been on the lineup of speakers who are internationally known. And the reason why I do this work is so that you get to experience whatever level of visibility that you are seeking to. This is what's important to me mostly. Credibility is all about you speaking to the people you need to. So next time you share that video and it has 5 views, those 5 people clearly are interested in you, are interested in what you do, and likely want to know more about you. Don't give up, keep going. The third C that I was going to talk about today was crying, but luckily I didn't cry. You know, I realise there's perspective and I'll be okay in an hour or two. I've got good friends around me and good people that I can speak to as well. But if there's one thing that I would love you to take from this video is to think about where you sit in that. Don't make yourself wrong. Don't judge yourself or other people. Where do you sit in this? Are you a trailblazer that goes out there and creates and makes things? Are you the person that needs to be around a trailblazer so that you can create stuff too? Or are you the person that just basically goes, okay, I like this system and I want to disseminate it and put it out there? No shame in this game. If you're the trailblazer, speak about it, let people know, tell them the stories of where these things have come from. If you're the person who gets inspired by the trailblazer, shout out where the information is coming from. It's respectful to them and respectful to you. Now, if you're the person that copies, just make sure that you're not infringing on their intellectual property or their trademark. And don't be surprised if they come after you. And just position it in a way that you share it with integrity, you share it with credibility, and you don't pass off other people's work as your own. It's one of my values. It's not something that I can tolerate, and it's one of my non-negotiables. So a rather strange one today, but at least I didn't cry on camera. I thought I would. That's it. If you've ever had this experience or anything else like that, by all means, let me know in the comments below. Find me on YouTube at @cie_HIVs and subscribe when you get there. I'm aiming to get to a certain kind of landmark. And if you already subscribed, please share this or another video with somebody and ask them to subscribe too. For those of you that are interested in being more visible on video, being able to be credible, to be confident, and actually to cry on camera if you need to, then join us for our next video visibility game, which is called Confidence on Camera, part of the Visibility Vibes system. Join us for the next round, which starts the beginning of July, the first week of July, and come and meet some others that are doing amazing things in the world too. That's it. Bye for now.